Now let's go over the Komatsu excavator you'll be using. We use a PC210 or similar sized unit. They're about 26-ton excavators, so by far the largest piece we have on site. Now an excavator on a job site, they're used in various ways. They really are the workhorse of the industry. Generally they're going to use to dig up the site and place anything. Now the excavators are tracked, and what that means is one track goes forward, one goes reverse. That's as simple as it's going to drive, is you can push them both forward to go forward, pull back on both to go reverse, or you can go one opposite of each other and it'll literally do a 360. Now when we start driving, we always start slowly on our track paddle just to make sure it goes the direction we want. Because as much as forward may be one direction, if you were to swivel that cab and be facing the other direction and do that exact same motion, you would actually be going backwards. That's why we always want you to start slow to make sure you know which way your tracks are lined up. Now for the main pieces on the excavator, the digging arm consists of the boom, stick, and bucket. The final piece we add in there is the swing. So boom, stick, bucket, swing. Now for digging with the excavator, generally we're going to line you up straight over your tracks. This is where you're very stable and the weight is spread out the best. Now you can dig off the side when you're perpendicular to your tracks, but what you're going to find, the machine's a lot less stable and you may feel the back of the machine pick up a little bit. So as much as possible, we're going to line you up straight over your tracks to dig. Now while you're digging, it is normal at certain points to feel the back of the machine lift up, or even the front of the machine might pick up. Now again, the machine's powerful enough where you may feel that. In general, you want to try and keep your tracks flat. So if you feel the back end picking up or the front is lifting off, we're going to want to stabilize ourselves by lowering or picking up the boom. Now when we get ready to dig, we're going to extend that arm all the way out. We're going to lower the bucket. We're going to stop about a foot above the ground. Then we need to open our teeth. You're going to open the teeth. You either want those teeth straight down to even out just a little bit. Then we're going to engage the ground. Again, when we start digging, we're going to be fully extended. We're going to try and keep the bucket away from you. A couple of things we like to show people. First and foremost, that bucket cannot hit you in the cab. So don't worry about it, you're safe. Now with that said, the material in the bucket is not secured in there. So that's why you want to be careful, because if you were to come forward fast and stop, the material may actually come out, may hit your windshield. The other piece is the bucket can absolutely hit the tracks. So this machine can dig all the way up, right up to your tracks. It can actually hit them. So you want to be careful. Anytime you get within a foot or two of your tracks, you see dirt moving, you're going to want to take your hands off and let us get you pushed out away further from your tracks. Now driving position for the excavator, you're going to have your boom raised up, your stick in so it's vertical, straight up and down, and then your bucket flat. So your teeth are horizontal, and you want that bucket about a foot or two above your tracks. The final piece is your swing. You want to be lined up straight over those tracks. So you're going to look out over your window and see if you're roughly straight with the left track that you're over. Now parking position for the excavator, we generally want that same position. You're just going to set the bucket flat on the ground. Now let's take a look inside the excavator. Now first and foremost, 3 points of contact getting into the equipment. So there's a step in between the track, you're going to step on the track, there's handlebars on both sides. Take your time getting up into the machine. You're going to have a seat, you're going to put your seat belt on. Next is the safety lock lever. Over on your left, you're going to see a little red knob, and there's a red bar going below that. That is basically the parking brake for the excavator. Eventually you'll pull back on that little red knob, it's going to pop that red bar up in front of the door. That means everything's live on the equipment. When that bar's down, everything's safe. Nothing's going to work in there at all. Eventually, your instructor will walk you through engaging that so everything's live on the equipment. Now for seat adjustments. There is an additional adjustment the instructor may make at the very base of the chair. That'll move the entire console forward. So there is a lever at the very bottom. We may latch and slide the entire thing forward or back. Next, over on the right, you've got something to just slide the seat. So there's a little lever on your right side that'll slide the seat forward or back. And then you've got an air ride adjustment in the center there that can raise the seat up or down. You've then got a tilt lever right above that that'll actually tilt the seat forward or back. And then finally, you've got a backrest adjustment on the back corner if you need to adjust your backrest up or down. Next, you've got your throttle over on your right. You're gonna have a little dial with a min and a max. Eventually, you'll turn that all the way up to max. Now the excavators do have an auto idle, so even if you do turn it up to max, you may not hear the engine come up right away. Don't worry about that. That's a fuel saving feature built into the newest Komatsu equipment. Next, for your foot controls, first of all, you'll see 2 stationary pedals on each side. That's where your feet are gonna rest. In the center, you've got your 2 track paddles. These are what will adjust and control each track. The right one's on your right track, left is for your left track. If you push forward on one, it'll push that side forward alone. So if you push right hand forward, it'll move the right track forward, pull back, it'll pull it back, and same with the left one. Left hand forward, push the left track forward, pull back on the left, it'll go backwards. We will use those together. Now in the center, you'll see those same track paddles are actually connected to foot controls. Now an expert would actually drive this thing with their feet, but we're gonna keep it just with your hands to make it easier. Now let's go to our joysticks. You've got your left and your right joystick. Left is your stick and swing, right is your boom and bucket. Stick and swing, boom and bucket, S's and B's. Let's go over those one at a time. On our right joystick, if you pull back on that right joystick, it's gonna raise the boom up. If you push forward on that right joystick, it's gonna bring the boom down. If you go to the right, it's gonna open the bucket. And if you go to the left with that right joystick, it's gonna close the bucket. Now let's go over to our left hand, our stick and swing. If you push forward on that left joystick, it's gonna extend the stick out. If you pull back on the left joystick, it's gonna pull the stick in. If you go left with that left joystick, it'll swing left. If you go right with that left joystick, it'll swing right. Keep in mind, there is no hard stop to that swing. So if you just wanna spin and do 360s out there, yee-haw, go for it. We do offer optional vomit insurance. So if you'd like to purchase that, please ask your instructor. Otherwise, we will not clean up after you. Finally is climate control. On the right display, you're gonna see some blue buttons. It's automatic climate control. You'll see right in the center there, your temperature setting. Feel free to adjust the temperature up or down to whatever you're comfortable with. That's our Komatsu excavator.